Hello and welcome to the black portion of the Lorwyn Eclipsed Limited set review. In this video I'll be discussing all of the black cards and how good I think they're going to be. We are focused around primarily draft here. We use 5-tier system to evaluate the cards. Tier 1 is the best, Tier 5 is the worst. There's sort of a vague description of the tiers here. It's kind of more of my own personal vibe scenario. Auntie's Sentence. One and a black for a sorcery. Choose one. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land permanent card from it. That player discards that card. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. So, kind of an interesting one. Neither of these modes is super exciting. Like the buyout mode, like on turn 2, you can just remove their 2-drop in most spots. That's fine. If you're on the play, you can take their best card. That's fine. I don't think it's like exciting. I think you can play it. Kind of cool if it was an instant. I don't know. I know that it would be weird to like see your opponent's hand at instant speed. They like kind of don't do that, but I don't know. Why not? What? Try it out. See what happens. The game, certainly the rules of the game won't break when you do it. It'll probably be okay. Barbed Bloodletter. One and a black for an equipment with flash. When it enters, attach it to target creature you control. That creature gains Wither until end of turn. It deals damage equal in the form of -1/-1 counters. Creature chooses +1/+2, and you can equip it for 2. Yeah, this looks awful to me. It's a 2-mana combat trick for +1/+2, and then you give something Wither. That's may not even be like a positive. Sometimes I don't. We kind of like who. I feel like I should just look up the design teams on every like limited format because there's like a rotating circle of people that are like the main team, and I feel like we've cycled back to the team that just loves equipment that don't come with like other permanents. We're just back to that. We're back to that group of people. I don't. Do you know what I mean? Like, because like for the most part, these have been bad and have never worked. So like you're gonna have to. It's gonna have to prove it to me. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna have to prove it to me. Vile Boggart. Single black for a 1/1. When this creature dies, put a -1/-1 counter on a twin target creature. We have Shambling Ghast, of course, the goat, up on the screen here as well as a reminder of what this could have been. Now this has some upsides to Shambling Ghast, and that it's a -1/-1 counter and not a -1/-1 until end of turn. With that being said, it's gonna end up being functionally pretty similar. Um, and the fact that you can't make a treasure token is sad. So, Shambling Ghast, this is not. Now, the Goblin deck, the black-red Goblin deck, I could totally see this being played. Am I excited about it? Not really. No, I'm just not that excited about it. But you could maybe play it. Bitterbloom Bearer, black for a 1/1 with flash and flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and create a 1/1 blue and black fairy creature token with flying. The only reason this isn't in tier 1 is that it's double pip black. Double pip 2-drop is pretty bad. Like, it's very hard to cast on turn 2. You need like 12 swamps to reliably cast this on turn 2, something like that. You cast it on turn 3 some percentage of the time, it'll be okay, but it's just not quite the same. Very powerful, though. You're making a bunch of 1/1s. And if you can cast it on turn 2, it's great. That's kind of the take with this, is like, oh, it's at the beginning. Oh, no, it's at the beginning. Just flash, it's fine. Turn 2 is fine. You still get it on turn 3. Makes sense. And you're doing good stuff when you have this. It's just, Bitter Blossom is not what it used to be, just in general, as an effect. We had it. I think we had it legal in Wilds of Eldraine, and it was like decent. It was good. Like, it was a good card, but it wasn't like broken like people like it used to be in like, the original Lorwyn. It's fine. It's a fine card. It's going to be solid. Just the casting cost is really hurting it. Blight Rot, 2 and a black for an instant. Put 4 -1/-1 counters on target creature. Looks like great removal to me. You've got the -1/-1 stuff. There's like a reality where you could put this on your own creature, and I don't know, and like activate its like blight abilities or to remove counters. It's sort of the thing you could do in theory. Looks really good to me. No complaints on my end. Blighted Blackthorn. 4 and a black for 3/7. When this creature enters or attacks, you may blight 2. If you do, you draw a card and lose 1 life. So 5 mana for 3/7 is like kind of weird, but it's the right stat line for this type of thing. It becomes a 1/5, and you lose 1 life, draw a card, and then it can attack and blight on itself. But you're not dealing any damage, and it just dies if you do that most of the time. It's not great. You can obviously, if you find ways to remove the counters. I don't know, I'm not that excited about this 5-drop. I think it's like maybe playable, but it certainly doesn't seem like a priority to me. Bloodline Bidding. 6 black for a sorcery with Convoke. Choose a creature type, return all creatures or cards of the chosen type from your graveyard to the battlefield. I think this is maybe fine. I don't... Convoke doesn't seem like it helps that much. In the elf deck wants to be milling, it wants to have a bunch of elves, so maybe this is like where that's supposed to go. I don't really see it. So how much stuff do you have to get back for this to be worth it? 3 creatures probably, right? 3 creatures is probably the number you need to get back for this to be like a worthwhile thing to do. In the elf deck, that's probably achievable. Okay. I think the elf deck has sufficiently convinced me that this is going to be something that you can actually do. So I think it'll be fine in the elf deck and kind of bad everywhere else. Maybe it's okay in Goblin. I don't know. Maybe this is just good. It might just be good. Boggart Mischief. 2 and a black for a Goblin enchantment. When this enchantment enters, you may blight 1. If you do, create 2 1/1 black and red Goblin creature tokens. Whenever a Goblin you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So similar to Rakish Crew from OTJ, a card that kind of sucked, but was very fun. But it sucked, but it was fun. This one you need to blight 1, you have to do it. It's extremely required, otherwise the card is terrible. It's better than Rakish Crew, which was bad, so I think this is solid, and I think in red-black you will play it. Obviously you don't play this outside of red-black, so tier 3 is pretty much as high as it can realistically go, because you are only playing it in one deck. But it seems like a fine card in that deck. Boggart Prankster, 1 and a black for a 1/3. Whenever you attack, target attacking goblin gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Kind of like this. Again, sort of a red-black card, but it's a 2-drop that has effects over the course of the game, and that's just kind of like all you can ask for. It attacks as a 2/3, which isn't amazing, but you know sometimes that's what you want. And I don't think it's a terrible 2-drop. It wears counters well. It's got 3 toughness. You can blade on it. I think this is actually kind of a nice solid 2-drop for black. Bog Slither's Embrace. 1 and a black for a sorcery. Is an additional cost to cast the spell, blight 1 or pay 3 colorless. Exile target creature. It is a sorcery. So sorcery speed interaction tends not to be great, but 2 mana to exile something, of course, is very strong. It's only blighting 1. That's pretty achievable. Like, that's pretty doable. You can pretty much do that at any point over the course of the game. There's always the buyout mode of just paying 3, but I think you're probably just going to be blighting the vast majority of the time. Yeah, I don't really... This is, like, way better than, like, the sack removal spells we've had. Partially because it exiles, and partially because it's blight 1 instead of sacrifice your creature. Champion of the Weird. 3 and a black for a 5/5, Goblin. As an additional cost to cast this spell, behold a goblin and exile it. You can pay 1 life and blight 2. Target opponent blights 2. Activate only as a sorcery. Whenever the creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to its owner's hand. So you need a bunch of goblins. Again, this is the black version of this cycle. This is the full cycle of these. This one is fine. I think it's a solid card. All of these feel kind of weird to me in the sense that you need to have the second thing to cast them, which always is concerning in terms of their tier rating and how high I can actually put them. But they're very powerful cards when you can cast them. It's just you need a lot of goblins to be able to cast it. This one is like less exciting than some of the other ones when it's actually in play, because blighting 2 to make your opponent blight 2. It's a fine mode. It's 0 mana, so it's not that bad, but yeah, I mean, we'll see how that... You can also just, like, do that 3 times, and then just, like, trade your thing, and then get your thing back. Kind of a weird thing to do, but you could do it. Creekwood Safe Rate. 1 in a black 5/5. It enters with 3 -1/-1 counters on it. At the beginning of your end step, if there is an elf card in your graveyard and this creature has a -1/-1 counter on it, remove a -1/-1 counter from this creature. So you gotta get the elves in the graveyard. That's the thing about the elves, and they are telling you about this. The elves have to be in the graveyard. Yes, I think it's a fine 2-drop if you're playing elves, but they need to be in the graveyard. That's it. Now there's some ways to remove counters, but not a ton. Without this ability, it's gonna be kind of awkward. But if you can get an elf in your graveyard, you're gonna be pretty happy about it. It's kind of more of a 4-mana 2-drop, which is sort of a thing. Darkness Descends, 2 black sorcery. Put 2 -1/-1 counters on each creature. Sort of a sideboard card, right? Do you really want to play this? It's sort of a wrathy. I mean, I could see this being good, right? We could be existing in a reality where goblins and Kithkin's the best deck, which I think is sort of the consensus. And it would be my perception as well. If Kithkin's the best deck, maybe you can main deck this. Maybe that's actually something you can do and all that. 4 mana for 2 -1/-1 counters on each creature doesn't excite me. I'm you know me, I'm the guy who doesn't like Wrath of God in general. So this is it's certainly not a card that I'm going to like. Is it a card that the general population of people will like? More than me, for sure. But is it actually good? It remains to be seen. I'm saying bad, but we can it's certainly not a high priority, I don't think, at the moment. If Kithkin is great, which totally could see, this could be a metagame call for that. Dawnhand Dissident. Single black for a 1/2. It is an elf. You can tap it and blight 1 to surveil 1. Tap it and blight 2 to exile a card from a graveyard. During your turn, you may cast creature spells from among cards you own exiled with this creature by removing 3 counters from among creatures you control in addition to paying their other costs. So it's kind of a weird, like, reanimate thing. It's definitely good to exile your stuff and then get it back. It's just not easy to do when you need a second creature and need so much to go right. I'm not sure I love this. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I'm not sure I love it. I feel like I'm not that excited about this. We'll see. Dawnhand Eulogist, 3 in a black for a 3/3 elf with menace. When this creature enters, mill 3 cards, and if there's an elf card in your graveyard, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I need to move this up. But it is just an elf card. Like, you need a lot of elves. There's no denying it. You need a ton of elves, but I think you can get a ton of elves. I think green-black elves is a deck. It's one of the 5 decks, and I think it's going to be functional. So I do think you can make this work. It is a 4-drop, so again, there's sort of a ceiling on it to a degree, but yeah, obviously this is fantastic if you hit an elf with it. So, Dose of Dawn Glow. 4 in a black for an instant. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield, and then if it isn't your main phase, blight 2, and it's an instant. So we have an instant speed reanimation spell for 5. I mean, here we are. It's we've achieved it here. Is it actually good? That remains to be seen. I wouldn't describe myself as super optimistic, but you know, it could happen. It could happen. Dream Caesar. 3 in a black for a 3/2 with flying. Whenever this creature enters, you may blight 1. If you do, each opponent discards a card. Yeah, nice, right? So it's a solid flyer. It's not a great card if you don't blight 1, so you're kind of gonna need to blight 1, and then you make your opponent discard a card, which is nice. It's not making me like jump out of my chair. I think this is like an okay card, but not bad, not good, all kinds of stuff. Gloom Ripper, 3 black for a 4/4. When this creature enters, target creature you control gets +X/+0 until end of turn, and one target creature your opponent controls gets -0/-X until end of turn, where X is the number of elves you control plus the number of elf cards in your graveyard. This is great, right? This is fantastic. Tier 2 is maybe even tier low. I probably should just move this up to tier 1. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. I think the elf stuff is kind of the stuff in black that you're gonna want to be doing anyway. So this is good. I mean, you have the recursion from the signpost uncommon black green guy, which I should go change in my tier. Like I should move that up. When I reviewed it, I was low on it, but now I think I'm kind of like up now. So it's yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just like this. I like this type of effect. Gnarlbark Elm, 2 and a black for a 3/4. It enters with two -1/-1 counters on it. You can pay 2 and a black to remove 2 counters from it. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. So it can become, it sort of turns itself into a removal spell, and then it's a 3/4. Pretty good. Expensive though, like really expensive, and it starts. So the thing with this card that's a problem, and it's a problem, is that it's a 3 mana 1/2. That's a problem. Like that is a problem. I'm gonna tell you right now, 3 mana 1/2 problem. But you can remove it, and then it gets bigger and whatever. So I'm not like super excited about this. It also doesn't have types, which is sort of a thing. Like I kind of am in the camp that this might just be terrible. Yeah, this might just be really bad. I'm gonna leave it in mediocre for now, but I'm not in love with it. Graveshifter, 3 into black for a 2/2 with Shapeshifter. That's a changeling. When this creature enters, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So Gravedigger, I mean, its time has come and gone. Its time has come and gone, and they reprinted Gravedigger in some format. I don't remember what it was. I think it might have been Foundations, and it was awful. Man, was it awful. Like the last time we saw Gravedigger in like regular limited, it was terrible. So I don't think giving it Changeling is going to be enough to make this good. So I'm out. I'm taking a hard stance that I'm out, and maybe I'll be wrong. Grub Storied Matriarch. 2 and a black for a 2/1. It's a goblin with menace. When it enters or transforms, return up to one target goblin card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay? At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay red if you do transform it into the backside, which is a 2/1 with menace. When it attacks, you may blight one. If you do, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of the blighted creature except it has at the beginning of the next end step sacrifice this token, and you can pay black at the beginning of your first main phase to transform it. I don't mind this. I could even move it up. I should probably move it up a bit. I think tier 3 is maybe a bit. Because when it enters, you can get a goblin back, and that's something. But it's not it's a 3-drop that's not a 3-drop, so those are always good. Very removable. But you get a goblin back. Unlike some of the other stuff, there's actually going to be stuff in your graveyard. Yeah, we'll move it up. Goblins like want you to sacrifice stuff a little bit, so there will be some in the graveyard. It's just like I don't know. Well, we'll see. I like it. It's good. It's fine. Gutsplitter Gang, 3 and a black for 6/6 goblin. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may blight 2. If you don't, you lose 3 life. Is this good? I don't know. It's big. It's large. It's quite large, in fact. I This is one of those ones we're just gonna have to see. Like I'm just gonna have to see it be in play. It probably is good because you could just pay 3 life, and then you attack for 6. It seems like 6 is a lot. It's pretty hard to remove. Like there's not really a ton of removal spells that deal with it that aren't like hard removal spells. So it's got that going for it. But if your opponent ever plays something with Death Touch, you're just extremely sad. So that's a problem. I don't know. I kind of have given up on evaluating this card. I think it's probably maybe better than I'm giving it credit for, but it has a lot of problems, so I'm leaving it here for now. Heirloom Auntie. 2 and a black for a 4/4. Goblin enters with 2 -1/-1 counters on it. Whenever another creature you control dies, surveil one, then remove a counter from this creature. This is just going to be really tough to actually have happen. Like you need your other stuff to die, and it's a 3-minute 2/2. 3-minute 2/2 pretty bad. 3-minute 2/2 is pretty bad. Especially in your red-black deck that ostensibly is like an aggressive V deck. So, yeah. Iron Shield Elf. 1 in a black for a 3/1 elf. Discard a card. This creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. Yeah, I mean, we've had many versions of this effect before. Usually they're in white. This one's in black. It's an elf. It can discard elves. Elves like to be in the graveyard. That's kind of a synergy thing. It's an annoying 2-drop for sure. I sometimes you just simply block it, and your opponent is like you're still trading 1-for-1 with them, and that's okay. And you know what this is really bad against? Anything that deals -1/-1 counters. And you know what does that? Like, I don't know, like 20% of the set. So, yeah. Moon Glove Extractor. 2 in a black for 2/1 elf. Whenever this creature attacks, you draw a card and lose 1 life. I like him kind of mystified. Like, this is just the worst. It's just the worst card I've ever seen. Like, did they have this, like, say, enters the battlefield and they changed it? Like, what happened here? Like, genuinely, what happened during the design process to make this card exist? I have no idea. Like, I have no idea. I really don't know. I just don't understand how this card came into existence. Like, how did we get to this point where this exists? Like, I feel like this was printed, somebody, like, thought that it was like, oh, this says ETB on it. And so they just, like, shipped it. But, like, it just does nothing. I don't, well, like, what? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. Moon Shadow, single black for 7/7 with Menace. Has 6 -1/-1 counters on it. Whenever one or more permanent cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, while this creature has a -1/-1 counter on it, remove a -1/-1 counter from this creature. So this is sweet. Obviously, this rocks. You play it on 1, and your opponent is just crying. Like, they're so scared they're going to lose the game, probably. If you play it on turn 6, however, kind of sus. It's kind of sus. I'm just telling you right now, it's kind of sus. Yeah. But there is some self-mill. Not a ton. There wasn't enough self-mill for this for me to, like, be like, oh man, I'm all the way in. But there was enough for me to be like, okay, this will be functional. Morning-Song Aria. 1 black for a legendary enchantment, which doesn't have a type for some reason. Players can't draw cards or gain life. At the beginning of each player's draw set, the player loses 3 life, searches the library for a card, puts it into their hand, and shuffles. Truly, like, the worst card to have in your deck post-board. You, like, have to side it out, basically. Because your opponent just tutors for an enchantment removal spell every single time, and then you're pretty sad, I guess. I mean, is it even that bad? They lose 3 life, and then this deals 3 damage to them. But it just isn't a good card, I don't think. I just think this is awful. I don't know. I wouldn't. It kind of can be a win condition if you're up 20 to 15 on life totals, and you think you can beat your opponent's best card for some reason. Like, sometimes, like, this just seems like a recipe for disaster. You know, but it's possible that it's okay. Mud Button Curse Tosser. A single black for a 2/1. It's a goblin. It has an additional cost to cast it. You behold a goblin or pay 2. It can't block. When it dies, the trades target creature or opponent controls with power 2 or less. Yeah, it's like an okay 1-drop when you have enough goblins, which is like 13 goblins. So that's a lot of goblins. But if you have a lot of goblins, it's fine. It can't block, so you kind of have to, like, put blight on it, and then it can kill your opponent's thing, which isn't, like, impossible. It's pretty easy to do, but yeah. Nameless Inversion, 1 in a black for a shapeshifter instant with changeling. Kind of circumventing the type part of the. Anyway, target creature gets +3 -3 and loses all creature types until end of turn. Yeah, I mean, this is just a great removal spell that can also be a trick sometimes to deal like 3 damage. Cool, really good card. Don't have anything to really say about it. Nightmare Sower, 3 in a black for a 2/3 with flying and lifelink. Whenever you cast a spell during your opponent's turn, put a -1/-1 counter on up to 1 target creature. Kind of sweet. It's a threat. Lifelink is really doing a lot of work here. If it didn't have lifelink, I would basically think it's unplayable. Because it has lifelink, I'm kind of like, oh, there's something. My 4-drop that can't block is at least going to give me some life when it attacks. That's nice of it to do that. Um, and it's a really cool card to have, and it's going to be very satisfying to have in play for you. It is a 4-mana 2/3 that I'm not, has a lot of downsides, so certainly not over the moon here, but I think it's a playable 4-drop. Perfect Intimidation. 3 in a black sorcery, choose one or both. Target opponent exiles 2 cards from their hand, remove all counters from target creature. Very cool card, very satisfying card when it works. Um, Card that's going to be real difficult to use, going to be really difficult to actually use it, but if you actually have enough things that have -1/-1 counters on them and enough blight stuff, I could totally see this getting in there. I don't think it's obviously not a high priority, right? You need like your whole deck to be doing this thing for it to be a playable card, but if your whole deck is doing this thing, I think it could be a playable card. Requiting Hex. Single black for an instant. There's an additional cost to cast this spell. You may blight 1. Destroy target creature with mana value 2 or less. If the spell's additional cost was paid, you gain 2 life. I kind of like it. We've seen the restriction of mana value 2 or less be... It's usually a little too restrictive for these cards to be like 1 mana of this effect. Be like very strong. This one's an instant, which is rare. We haven't seen that. Has additional upside, which I like. But it does, the narrowness does kind of come back to be too much usually with these. We'll see. This one might be strong enough that it sort of ends up in that tier 2 category. But I don't believe that it will do that, but it could happen. It wouldn't be like the most shocking thing ever. Wretched Wretch. 2 in a black for a 4/2 goblin. When it dies, if it had a -1/-1 counter on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control, and it loses all abilities. Okay, so it's like a 3 mana 4/2 that dies into itself, but sometimes your opponent casts a shock on it, and then you cry, and you'll never be seen again, and that's not what you want. You don't want that outcome. That would be a bad outcome, I would say. I'm not high on this, for the record. I don't think it's very good. Scarblade Scout, 1 in a black for a 2/2 with lifelink. When it enters, mill 2 cards. Oh, wait, this card's a house. Hold on. I already had it in tier 3. I mean, this is actually just unbeatable. How do you ever beat this card? Wait a minute. This is just actually unbeatable. It's an elf that mills and is a 2-drop with lifelink. No, we're moving it up. As a result of the existence of the previous card, I am moving this card's rating up. This is very rare. I almost never do this, but yeah, I didn't know that card existed when I was reviewing this card. So this has now been moved up. This card's great. I almost want to put it in tier 1. I don't think I will because whatever, but elves, it's looking pretty real. I'm telling you right now, it's looking pretty real. It's looking pretty real to me. To a guy like me, elves is looking pretty real. Yeah, this is probably the best common 2-drop in the set, I think. So the elf stuff, I mean, I really think it's going to be doable. This is because you go this into the Lord, which we just revised our rating for. That's just really hard to beat. I mean, this is the straw that stirs the drink. Like this is the whole deck is like you can build your whole house out of this card. You could draft like 6 copies. Like this thing is. I mean, I'm just gonna tell you right now, this thing is. Wow, this is a house. Yeah, this is. I'm inclined to say that this is the best black common. I'm inclined to say that. I really am. That's the inclination that I'm getting. I mean, we're getting crazy. We're getting crazy with this card. Scarblade's Malice, single black for an instant. Target creature you control gains Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn. When that creature dies this turn, create a 2/2 black and green elf creature token. I like this trick a lot. Death Touch, Lifelink, and you get a 2/2 for 1 mana. I mean, that just seems really good to me, right? Like you're just now again, you can only have so many of these, and that's tier 3 is sort of emblematic of that. But I think this is quite good. I'm expecting to be playing a copy of this, in pretty much every black deck. So I think it plays well in goblins. I think it plays well in elves. So those are the 2 black decks really. So I mean, fairies probably not. Fairies is the one where this is probably not very good, so I don't know if that's sort of like your sub black archetype that you maybe aren't going to be playing that much. But this, I think, in that, in most black decks is going to be pretty good. Shimmer Creep, 4 and a black for a 3/5 with Menace, has Vivid. Whenever this creature enters, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life for X is the number of colors among permanents you control. We have the lovely picture of Maria's Outrider on the screen here to remind us of the good times. Notably, Reach is better than Menace, so if this had Reach, I would be moving it up a tier for sure. I might be moving it up a tier as is anyway, because I think Vivid's real. I think Vivid's a real thing. Is it, like, this drains for 2 pretty much every time. 5 mana, 3/5 Menace, drain for 2. It's a pretty solid card. You'd prefer it to drain for 3, and that's reasonable. I should probably move it up. The thing is, like, the Vivids, like, does this really fit in, like am I playing this in Elves? Like, in my Elf deck, am I playing this card? And the answer is, like, I probably would, but I wouldn't pick it over anything that says Elf on it. So that's kind of where the tier 3 comes from, is, like, you have to sort of be doing the Vivid deck. Like, you're doing the Vivid deck, and this is in your deck, and it's, like, the best card in your deck, in the Vivid deck. So, I don't know. The Vivid stuff, kind of in. I'm kind of in on the Vivid stuff. I think it's going to work. But I don't think I can rate this higher because just in your normal black decks, do you even want to play it? It always drains for 1, and it usually drains for 2. No, it's tier 2, but it's a 5-drop. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it in tier 3, and I'm okay with that reality. And if I'm too low on it, that's fine. Taster Wears, 2 and a black for a 3/2 goblin. When this enters, target opponent reveals X cards from their hand, where X is the number of goblins you control. You choose one of those cards, that player exiles it. If an instant or sorcery card is exiled, this way you may cast it for as long as you control this creature, and mana of any type may be spent to cast that spell. So if you're exiling an instant or sorcery, you probably win the game. I mean, if you get to cast it, obviously, but more realistically, you get to choose your opponent's worst or second worst card, and they discard it. Pretty good. Like, I don't know, it's not bad, and like, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good card. Play this. I would probably play this in any black deck, right? Even your elf decks, you're probably playing this. So definitely a good. Goblins, it's like broken. Twilight Diviner, 2 and a black for a 3/3 elf cleric. When it enters, surveil 2. Whenever one or more creatures you control enter, if they entered or were cast from a graveyard, create a token as a copy of one of them. This ability triggers only once each turn. So it's not going to come up like that much. But 3 mana, 3/3, surveil 2, it's an elf. That's a good card. Solid card. You'll just play it in whatever. It'll be fine. Yep. Unbury, which I believe is the last black card. We'll check after this. 1 and a black for an instant. Choose one. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Return 2 target creature cards that share a creature type from your graveyard to your hand. So 2 mana to return 2 creatures from your graveyard to your hand. Just gonna be pretty frequently, I would say, the mode on this. So I'm actually gonna probably end up moving it up here. So it is the final card. And I've moved it up. I think it's gonna be doable. Again, elves, goblins. Like, I think just the first copy of this is gonna be quite good. Second copy, I mean, we'll see. And I'm a believer in this. And that looks. I mean, black looks like pretty good, man. Are we headed for an Abzan format? I mean, it's something to think about. Mardu format could be something like that. I mean, who knows? Black looks decent. Specifically, the elf stuff looks good. Goblins, I'm less sure about. Elves, I'm pretty sure about. Elves, I'm pretty sure elves is good. I'm fairly certain that's good. And with that, I will see you in the next one.